Hello everyone, let's cover the rest of the directives in Vue. Let's begin with vue-text. It's a simple directive that allows you to print some text inside HTML tag. So if we do span vue-text message is going to be in the data object, and it's going to be the same thing as span double curly brackets message. Alright, so we have covered this. Okay, vue-HTML. Assume that you want print out the whole HTML without compiling it. For example, if you wanted to print a strong tag, let's do that really fast. Let's assume we have a raw HTML and the string contains HTML tags. So I can do this. I can simply say I can create a span tag and I can say vue-HTML. And inside that I can have my raw HTML. So we will get bold tag inside this span tag. Let's check that out. Refresh. And we get that right here. So it is in a B tag. So the HTML is not processed. For example, if we don't add this and add a B text, then we will see like this. Alright. Okay, that is another directive in Vue.js. Okay, moving on. Next we have vue-show. So this is the same thing as applying a display none CSS style to an element. So for example, if we add a CSS style display none to this span tag, it's the same thing we can do using the vue-show directive. Let's do that. Let's have hide span and let's make it false. Okay, and here I'm going to change this to vue-HTML, and then I'm going to say vue-show and pass in our condition hide span. So hide span, if hide span is true, then we are going to show it. If it's not, we are not going to show it. So since now it is false, we will not say it. Okay, we don't see it. Okay, let me change that to true again. So this can be a condition. We see it. Alright. Okay, that is vue-show. Remember, it's different from vue-if. Okay, what vue-if does is it's not a display none class. For example, let's change this back to vue-show and do false here, so that we apply this display none CSS. Here we can see the display none style applied, but if we change this to vue-if, we will not see the element. So it's going to create and destroy the element depending on the condition. So let's refresh, and we do not see our bold tag. Yeah, but if we make this true, then we will see it. Okay, so that's the difference between vue-if and vue-show. Vue-if creates the component when it's true and destroys it when it's false. All right, so that is the vue-if directive. Okay, so vue-else is the same thing. After vue-if, if we don't, it's a if-else statement. So if something is true, you can show vue-if, and after using vue-if, you can use vue-else. One thing to note, this vue-else should come right after the vue-if tag finishes. It can be vue-if or vue-else if. Okay, this is the same as if-else statement in JavaScript. If do this, if else do this. So we can have many as we like, and finally we can have vue-else as well. So that is another directive in Vue.js. v4, this is an important directive. Let's do a loop. So let's have an array. What do we have? Names array. We'll do names array. We can have my name, channel name, one more Vue.js. Okay, that's enough. Then we can simply create a URL tag, and we can create a li tag and can use v4, and we can loop through our names. So we'll do that using item in items. So we can say name in names, okay, and inside that we can do name. This will print out the list of names. Okay, we're doing this channel Vue.js. Same way we can do v-text because it's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah. Oh no. I said name. All right. Okay. So that is v4 directive. So you can loop through it. Remember, sometimes you will need to add a key to when you loop through. We'll get to that later on. Okay, v-on, we have covered this directive. So we did v-on input. So it's input is an event. There's one more thing that I would like to say regarding this. Let's do a v-click event. So let's create a button and we'll do v-on colon and the event name click. Let's call a function clicked is the function. We'll have a method, methods, and clicked, and I'll do alert. Okay, let's refresh. We have to add some text. Click me. Oops. We'll say click me here, and let's get rid of these things since we are running out of space. Refresh. Click me, we get the OK alert. Okay, but assume this is a submit button and we have a form. What it will do is, and we have a form action as well, so it will redirect to that route, but we don't want that. We want to stop the propagation. So we normally do when we if this was a form, we'll get the event and we will do event prevent default. There's an easy way of doing this in Vue.js. Those are modifiers. So let's take a look at those. So we can use modifiers. We can say stop, event stop propagation, event prevent default, capture self. So those are some of the modifiers we can use. Okay. So let's use one of those modifiers. We'll do prevent. So click and I would say stop. Don't do anything else. This is the same thing as doing stop propagation. Okay, it's the same thing as doing that. Okay, but Vue has made it easy to do that. We can do click stop and we can chain these modifiers as well. For example, we can say stop prevent, something like that. So we can change the modifiers. Okay, see, we are doing stop and prevent and then the name of the function. All right, we'll get into more detail on that later in a later lesson, but for now keep in mind we can add modifiers. All right, a little bit of more information. Imagine, let's get to that later on. Okay, so we have covered vbind, which allows us to bind to an attribute. For example, image source, we can add an image source, we can bind to the source attribute. Later on we'll discuss about components and we can pass props to our components. We'll get to that using bind. So this is also the shorthand syntax for bind. All right, then vmodel, we covered this as well. We can simply create form inputs, using the v model. V pre-tag, so if you don't want Vue.js to compile something, so for example, if we have double curly brackets, then Vue.js is going to compile it. But we can say v pre and it's going to skip it. Alright, we are not going to cover this one. We'll take a look at that later on the series. v-once, another directive which is very important, good for performance optimization. For example, Vue.js is everything that we do is kind of reactive. So for example, if we change, okay, let's say we change the first name. So when we change the first name, that means it's going to update the first name. So it's reactive. But if you want it to render only once and if you don't want to re-render it, then we can say v-once, do it only once. So v-once. For example, we can have first name, I'll say Utpala. Okay, and I'll do right at the top, I'll do a span with the v text of first name, and I will add the directory of v-once, do it only once. Okay, and then after this input field, I'm going to have another span, and that's going to have a v text of first name as well, but I will not add the v-once directive. Then this will get updated, but this won't. Okay, the starting data element is Utpala. Let's check it out. Refresh. I have Utpala, and let's get rid of this tag. Alright, I have Utpala right here, and I'm going to update this. See, this changes, but this didn't, because we are not re-rendering it. It's not reactive. We are rendering it only once. So this is very, we will use this when we are going to create, for example, large lists. We would want this. It's a very performance optimization technique to use this. So that is all the directives in Vue.js. We will get into these more. I will describe you more of each one of these, but so now you know all the Vue.js directives. Alright, so that covers this long lesson. I hope you understand. Please ask questions if you have in the comments. I will reply to them very promptly. Alright, please like, share, and do subscribe. Have a good day. Bye.